Hey guys, it's Ash and P.
Hey.
Happy Friday.
Happy
I know it's not
Friday.
Friday for you guys. Well,
I
I don't
know.
know. It depends on what day you're listening.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a Friday. But
It is Friday.
Jeff Lewis always says Happy Michelada Friday. And I'm not listening on a Friday always.
I know. Do you feel
That's
like you?
fine.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so I'm eating like really good right now because
Yes.
I've got to fit into the stress and not have a pooch and all this stuff, right? So so we're all eating good. But last night, okay, I've had the week from hell.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say the week from hell. It's just been non
Yeah.
fucking
Right.
stop. Nonstop.
Yeah.
And so I'm at an event last night for work, and they have like free drinks and stuff, and they keep trying to bring me drinks, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Well, they have you had chamoy?
Yes.
Okay, so I discovered chamoy from the girls when I went to the bachelorette party. They were all in love with chamoy. Like they brought chamoy to the
I've
bachelorette.
never known about chamoy before.
I had heard of it, but I never tried it. I never nothing.
What?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is like okay. Well, anyway, this is a very nice event
Mm-hmm.
that I was at.
What kind of event is it?
It was an anniversary, 1 year anniversary. It was a Roaring Twenties thing.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so at one of the businesses in town, and they had Firestone was there with a booth.
Oh, nice.
And they were serving micheladas with chamoy. And my boss brings one over to me, and I'm like, oh, and he's like, you have to try this. Like, he's like obsessed, right? He's like, this is so good. And
Because
like,
he'd
he'd never had it. Neither had my coworker.
oh my gosh.
And so I'm like, yeah, people talk about this stuff all the time. I said, but I'm not really I may have a Bloody Mary, sometimes, but I'm not really a Bloody Mary person.
I've never
I'm
had
not
chamoy
really
and
a-
a Bloody Mary.
I'm not really a michelada type
I've
of
had
person.
chamoy in Mexican, slushy type things, in fruit cups,
Okay.
things like that.
Yes, that makes sense. So, he's like, here. I'm like, really? A michelada? I had a little tiny cup of wine, and I'm like, he's like, you have to drink. So I had like a couple of sips from it. And it is good, but it's like, it's different. You know what I mean? I think maybe I'm like, maybe if I was sitting out by the pool right now,
Yes.
but I
Or
just had
I
a glass
think-
of wine,
Yeah.
and I can't really switch to a michelada with chamoy.
Yeah. But it was good.
But it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like beer, so I
know.
can't do it. But places that put it in their Bloody Marys?
I think I've seen it on a Bloody Mary before.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
And on Coronas, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it on purpose.
Yeah.
To be honest, not a huge fan of chamoy.
Yeah. Really? I'm surprised because it's got that sweet taste to it.
I know, but
It's just the texture. It's so thick.
maybe
I'm
that's
so
what it
messy.
is.
I'm like messy too. I was like, God, I feel like it's like everywhere.
Maybe that could be what it is.
Texture.
Especially because I don't like my hands feeling dirt. Like I don't like sticky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, I will eat the crap out of some tamarindo. So I don't know. I feel like they're not quite the same texture,
No.
but it's still very similar. I don't know. That other one's a little thinner. Chamoy's thinner. So I don't know.
Anyway, that's my michelada story.
Yeah. Well, I know. Jeff Lewis.
how's your diet going? Good. You're doing good. I think so. Right?
Good. Yes. I need to be better. One, I need to be working out, and I'm not.
Are you still doing yoga?
No. Haven't done yoga in a long time. I need to do yoga just for my back. I need to do it just for my back. However, I don't want this to be an I Love Jeff Lewis podcast, but
But
You know,
don't you love Jeff Lewis? I really do.
like loved him for so
Yeah.
long. But I've been like binging his podcast.
Okay, but
So-
why can't you do that while you go on a walk or something?
I mean, I guess I could, but I like to watch it. It'd be dangerous.
Just listen to it.
But no, I mean I listen to him all day long.
Okay.
Like while I'm
yeah.
working, I listen to him all day long.
Yeah.
But when he had Dr. Cat on,
Oh, I know.
and she was talking about tummy tucks, I was like,
Uh-huh.
maybe to strengthen my
The
core, I just need a tummy
360.
tuck.
The 360.
I just need a tummy tuck to strengthen my core. Forget yoga. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know there's other reasons to do
I
it.
don't know if I told you, but we went to our friend's gathering a couple weeks ago, and her mom came up to me and said that she's having a. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
I'm like, so
Lucky.
I know.
I want one so bad. Well, I want a lot of things done,
I want a lot of things done too.
but I want one so bad.
We still need to do. You need to tell me where to go so we can just go get Botox. Tony will never know. We won't tell him.
Okay.
He does
Well, you
listen
know what
to
I've
the
been
whole time.
noticing? We were not
That
doing
it was just for the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Research and
Research.
development.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. My forehead lines have gotten so bad. Horrible.
Since when? I don't think they're bad.
I don't know. I was looking at them this morning or last night in my, like 100x or I don't know.
yeah,
What is that?
yeah.
That mirror.
Yeah.
And I was
Your
like,
magnifying glass.
oh my gosh. They seem all
Oh,
across my
mine-
whole forehead and so deep.
I don't have makeup on right now, but how about Georgia? I have like a sunspot.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, Mom, you have a birthmark like me on your face." I'm like, "Oh, it's a
Oh, yeah.
sunspot."
Yep, birthmark.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um,
And I think you may have been here when my brother tried to call me out about that. He's like, "Hey, they sell like cream and stuff that you could put on your." I'm like, "Hey, fuck you."
I don't think I heard him say that.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed a lot of sunspots on my face also. I've noticed a lot of issues with my face. Okay, so I know this is not what we're talking about today, but really quickly, I have an issue. One, yes, I want to get Botox, and I do know somewhere we can go if you're interested. I don't know what the cost is, but we could go. Maybe we could go and get a consult and see what it would be. One, two. I only wear big. I'm so sorry. We think the noise from last week's episode may have been
The fan
the
on the.
fan on the computer.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to put that far away.
Mhm.
So we just backed it up. Hopefully that fixes it.
No,
But okay, so what I only put concealer right here because I have super big pores. I have really deep wrinkles, so I can't
You
put
put it where?
I only put it under my eyes.
Okay.
Like I go like this, and that's it. I don't put face makeup on anywhere else because of the pores and the wrinkles. It just sinks in. I can't do it. It looks horrendous. So I'd rather just have uneven, yucky skin. So, this week has been hotter than I had expected.
It has been disgusting.
I know. I don't understand it. So I work outside at times, and it was very warm. I am like sweating like a pig. Okay. I am taking diet pills, so I don't know if part of it's, I do
Oh.
sweat a lot anyways. Nobody messaged me that they're not good for me. I know. Neither is the massive weight that I am. I'm sweating so much, and then I'm wearing sunglasses, trying not to have so many wrinkles here, but then my sweat right here, I swear I have like no under eye make, no concealer under there. By noon.
What kind of face care do you use? Like, what brand do you use?
Well, I've recently started using it. Rodent and Fields.
Okay.
I recently started using.
Okay.
I never really did skincare like I should.
Do you use their moisturizer?
Mm-hmm. They're everything.
So do you put that on in the mornings before you put your face on or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Good.
But I'm still sweating. I feel like I'm getting marks right here all the time from my sunglasses. I think, like, contact sunglasses. Those would be helpful. Except for my downside.
I like sunglasses because I feel like I need to hide my face.
Yeah, I love that, but I don't love the sweating right here and, like, my under... I have dark circles here.
So do I.
And I'm trying to avoid other people from seeing them. Yeah. And so when I sweat and it wipes off...
I will tell you the honest truth. I think you see so much more of whatever it is that you don't like than anyone else.
Yeah, I think that is very true.
I don't think that people see
That's
that
why,
at
like,
all.
when you say stuff, I'm like, I don't know that I've ever noticed that spot. How long has it been there?
A long time. Years.
Really? Because until you pointed it out, I don't know that I've noticed it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your brother obviously is way more focused on stuff.
Oh, he totally is. He will call me out on everything. So embarrassing. He'll be like, "Hey, you gonna wax your lip?" I'm like, "You motherfucker." Okay, I've been a little fucking busy. Sorry, I'm a little hairy. Okay. We have hair.
And he's the only one of your brothers that would ever say something like that.
Ever. None of my brothers would say anything like that.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. But at least you can tell him something.
It is true.
But yeah, so that's been bothering me. I want to have every surgery to make me look better. But
you're beautiful.
You are too. That's what it is. Also, Dr. Cat makes it sound like amazing, but I can't spend $1 bazillion.
I know.
So I have to go to someone else who is, I'm not going to be, and I'm not going to be, she talks about how they have such little pain. And
I know.
I wouldn't have a doctor like that, so I'll have a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Did you hear the episode where she talked about sculpting?
Yes.
So you won't do it?
Nope.
Good call. Good. All right. Sorry. Enough about my Jeff Lewis love.
I know.
Obsession.
I know. So crazy week. The kids are not in school today.
I know. So lucky.
So lucky. So lucky. My morning appointment got canceled, which actually was kind of nice because I was able to run errands.
Yeah.
Just trying to get through getting college prep for the older one.
Yeah, I know. You said, hopefully you're comfortable talking about this, but you said that you and Tony have been I don't want to say butting heads.
It's been butting heads.
Has it been?
Yeah. So it's so funny. Never say this to your spouse, people. I just got done telling Tony maybe 2 weeks ago. I said, "Is it weird that I feel, maybe you feel differently, which is totally fine, and you should be able to say that. Is it weird that I feel like people talk about how marriages work, and sometimes you go through these points where it's very challenging for your marriage? And do you think it's weird that I don't feel that we've gotten there yet?
Yeah.
I don't feel like in the time that we've been together, I would say in the beginning of our relationship was our toughest.
Yeah.
But once we got over that hurdle, we haven't had any, we don't really, our fights are stupid.
Right.
They're not like anything like, this is the challenge. This is the challenge. And so I'm like,
until my husband.
So everything, I feel like we find the same common ground.
Yeah.
Even if his thoughts are a little different than my thoughts, and then we find a commonality, and then we figure it out and whatever.
I do feel like you guys are very good at like talking things through to get to the same place.
I will say this is probably where, and people could be like, oh, good, they're so perfect. It's not that. But his personality, I think he does like and will communicate very well.
Yes.
For the most part.
And he's a very logical thinker.
Yes. And a lot of men don't communicate.
No.
And a lot of women don't either.
Yeah.
But a lot of men don't. You know, they hold it in, or they don't say anything, or they don't want to talk. It's like
That's what happened with us.
Yeah. So I think that I'm lucky in the sense that he has that personality that he wants to talk all the time about everything. And then it gives us a way to like talk it out, and then we figure it out.
Yes.
You know? And maybe that's why it's been so easy. But sending a child to college may be a different story.
Yeah, where you guys are on two separate pages.
It's been all week. It's been a fight. We were really in an argument Tuesday night, and I went to bed very unhappy with how things were left. And then the same thing happened last night.
I know when you said that, you know, you guys had talked and kind of settled things on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to say that it
came up again. And still that. And so, you know.
Do you want to share what it is?
Well,
it's
the financial part of it. He sees dollar signs, and I think he's freaking out about it, which I get to a point. But he's like, to me, it's like you're jumping on the horse real quick. Like, slow down. We can pick the horse that we want to ride. We can look at the horse. Just because we're going horse shopping doesn't mean we're taking off with the most expensive horse. Are they all going to be lined up? Yes. Are they all going to have different price tags? Yes. We have to go through the pros and cons of all of it. Nothing has been promised to her, and she does not expect things. She's not that kind of kid.
Yeah.
You know, she's never been that way. So why are you assuming she's going to be that way?
Right.
And I think he started, you know, oh God, let me tell you. The only thing worse than going through these, like, FAFSAs and doing all this other shit is...
Why do they have to do that, by the way?
FAFSA?
Yeah.
It's free money.
But if you're not going to qualify, why do they have to do that?
She'll qualify.
Well, right, but
most people, I think, will. Most people, I think, do. Because it's just different levels. Doesn't mean you're going to get a lot. And there's federal and state. You have to apply for the one, and then you're qualifying for both.
Most people do.
I think the income. Well, I don't remember.
I
feel like yes. Most people do.
When I went back to school, they told me I had to fill one out.
Well, I think because they want to see your income,
and I'm like, why do I have to fill one out? One, my company was paying for it, for the schooling. Mm-hmm. So why do I need to fill one out? Two, I knew I wasn't going to qualify. So why do I have to fill it out? But the school was like, you have to fill it out. I don't understand.
I don't know. But, you know, different schools have, even if you make all this money, they do have, I mean, you still can get a scholarship of some sort to bring down your tuition at these schools. So the only thing worse than going through those nights, because it's pretty painful, because it's a lot of documents, it's a lot of work, right?
And you got to go with your ex-husband.
Is doing it with your ex-husband. That is so fucking painful. It was awful. It was so awful. Thank goodness when I started the night, it started with me running into our friends who are also sending their kids off on this journey. Yes. And so we kind of got to chit-chat a little bit about it and laugh it off. And then I was stuck for another hour with him and my daughter. And it is so painful. And it really came down to who makes less money so that they can put their income for her. And there is nothing that makes me more uncomfortable than talking about finances with him, because it's taken so much for us to just leave money out and just be, it is what it is. I don't expect anything from you. You don't expect anything from me. And whatever you give her is between you guys. I mean, it's taken a long time for that to really just be like, when we took finances out of our relationship, I'll say, then it made everything so much easier. So bringing finances back into our relationship with her is stressful for me. It's so stressful. And Tony's like, I can see him saying, well, based off of my income, she was able to get this much down, so that's kind of my contribution. And I'm like, does it matter?
Do you guys think he's going to contribute anyway?
I said, I'm not expecting anything from him. He's like, well, I'm just saying. I go, but why would you expect anything from him? You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't expect anything from him. I don't.
I wouldn't. I didn't think he'd be. I mean, maybe he'll surprise you guys. But
I think he'll do something. I don't know what that something is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna depend on it. But that's me. I have the personality of I don't depend on anyone.
Right.
Right. So as I'm getting into it with my current husband about all of this, and we're going back and forth, and he's, the finance is part of it, and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm getting so bothered. I'm just getting so bothered.
Could he tell?
Yes. And I'm like, you're not getting it. Like, my thing is, let's lay him out once she's even accepted to whatever school.
Yeah.
And then we can pass that next hurdle, when we get there.
Right.
And he's like, well, why would we have her apply if she's not even going to, like, you don't know. You don't know what she can get. You don't know what scholarship she can get. You don't know. My kid is not going to get scholarships based off of academics. She went through 2 years of COVID and she struggled.
Right.
She struggled. So right there, that's a we're fucked there.
Right.
Not to say she doesn't have good grades. She does have good grades, but she really struggled with her grades during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a terrible time in her life, in our lives. And her grades showed.
Yeah.
So we've had to do catch up, and we've had to make up, and she's done very good at getting herself to where she is today. But I'm like, it's just it's a constant battle. We were going back and forth, and you know how I am. So I go, you know what? This isn't your problem. This is my problem, and don't worry, I'll figure it out.
What did he say?
I'm done talking to you about it.
What did he say?
And he's like, it's not your problem. It is our problem. I'm like, no, it's really not. My daughter, my problem. That's it. I'll handle it. Just like I have been handling it for all of these years. And he's like, that's bullshit, because I've contributed to her too. She is my daughter. I'm like, but what I'm telling you is, when it comes down, bottom line, it's my problem. And I'll figure it out. So I'm done having this conversation with you. My decisions will not be anything that I'm going to discuss with you, because it's my decision. And I'll figure it out. And if that means that I have to, I don't know, get another job, I have to do whatever, I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. You go ahead and worry about something else.
Do you think that hurt him?
Yeah.
I think that hurt.
Yeah. But I'm like,
I mean, obviously you were hurt by the conversation too. I can tell that you're getting emotional about it, and not emotional like you're angry, emotional like it's
well, because I think, like, this is all I could ever want.
Yes.
Is to do this.
Yeah.
So you're not going to tell me no.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
And if you're so scared about it, whatever that is, then get it out of your mind. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Just know it's not your fight. It's my fight. And I will keep fighting it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I don't need you, but I'm saying that I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So you can either support or not. And I'm not, it may not even be anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
may be nothing.
Yeah, because we don't know what horses
We
don't know what horses getting selected.
We don't. But it's a hot topic right now in our house. And that's one. And then this morning he's like, we're on the same team. I love you. And I'm like, okay, great. I love you too.
But yesterday you guys had
But we're not on
another
the same team.
discussion again.
We're not, yeah,
Was it the same exact discussion?
yeah. Yeah. And I just, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it makes him, I don't know. And then I say things like, I'm like, well,
I know what you're doing.
no, but I'm like, okay, well, maybe you could stop looking at fucking vacations.
Oh, I didn't think that's where
No.
you were going. I thought you were going somewhere way meaner.
No, I'm like, maybe stop looking at a fucking vacation, because if it means that we don't take vacations for a while, and it means you don't get a fifth wheeler
Yeah.
or whatever,
It's 4
then
years.
fucking fine. I'm fucking fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
like I'm not saying that we need to spend our life savings here, but at the same time, I'm going all in. So whether you like it or not, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard for him to take.
Yes.
I understand why, because it's finances. This is what we were talking about last week. It's like finances are such a big stress on a marriage.
Yeah.
Whether it's that you're, because of what you're about to possibly be spending on a child going off
Oh,
to
yeah.
school, or it's your paycheck to paycheck or whatever.
Right.
Finances are a stressor.
They are.
And I said it to him last night. I guess I found our issue of what's going to test our marriage. He's like, why would you say that? I'm like, because it is. Because we're not going to see eye to eye on this.
Yeah.
Because I'm not changing my mind. So you're going to have to get with it, or we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not fair. I'm like, well, I guess it's not. I don't know what to tell you, though.
Yeah. It is. So I could see where Tony's coming from. I think I could probably be a lot like Tony, where it's like, let's not even go there, let's not even look at it, blah, 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 kind of thing. I understand that he's like, well, if we let her apply to this place that we can't afford for her to go, then we're going to crush her dreams by telling her no, we can't. But if you tell her no, she can't apply, you crush her dreams right there, where she might apply and not ever get in. So it's like weighing it, like which way do you want to crush her? You
Right.
know? And he probably feels like, well, let's just do it now, get it over with, and move on. Kind of thing. I'm assuming that's where he's at.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And like he said to me, he's like, I still think, like, I'm sorry, I just still think, like, in the back of my head, okay, JC school is free for 2 years. I go,
He didn't go to JC.
and I said, and he says, he goes, and I look at it like me, and I think about myself and the money that I spent going to school, and I was lost, and I go, but the difference is you didn't know what you wanted to do. And
This
she
kid's
does.
been like this for how many years?
Yeah. I go, and she does. And I'm not even saying that may be the exact thing that she ends up doing with
Right.
herself. It's going to turn into something, though, because that's a passion. And if she's
Yeah.
willing to put forth the work for that passion, I have to let her try.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that even if it's so
She's not studying business. Where
Right.
she can go anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah. And here's the thing. So if say she were to get in and you guys had to have I know you don't want her to take out loans. I know you don't want her to have debt because of this or what have you. But say she does get into this place and it's like, you know, we can't cover all of that. It's unfortunately it's not going to happen. Then maybe the decision does come in that I'm willing to take loans out for it.
Well, and I'm okay with her taking some loans.
And if she's going to get something with
I'm-
FAFSA,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yes.
like,
Yes. And that's what even my sister-in-law is like, you don't even know. I mean, you'd be surprised sometimes by the time like scholarships and stuff and everything is laid out, you may end up paying almost the same to send her there, and then it would be if you sent her to a university.
right.
You know, just like a state school, you know,
Right.
versus a private school or something. She's like, you just would, you can't, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. And I said, and she's on the same, she's on my same side as far as like, she's gone through this twice now.
Yeah.
And she did the same thing as far as like, okay, here are the schools. And I think she even did a PowerPoint presentation on it.
I
Like,
could see that a lot.
this is the pros, this is the cons. This school, this is the pros, and this is the cons, which we've kind of been doing throughout. But until you actually get accepted and you have a
None of
choice,
it means
it
anything,
doesn't
really.
mean anything.
Yeah.
So let her apply.
Yeah. Because,
Sure.
I mean, really.
And a lot of these schools that she has to apply to, she has to put a lot of work into. She has to submit portfolios for most of them.
Yeah.
So if she's willing to put in that work, let her and see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, if they come back and they're like, it's going to cost $50,000 a year out of pocket after everything, and she says, Mom, I want to do it and I want to take out the loans, I'm going to say, well, that's not fucking smart, because your job when you get out is probably not going to
cover
those loans, and then you're going to end up with $200,000 in loans,
Yeah.
you know, and a $65,000 job. So we got to think about weighing things out a little bit.
Right.
But again, for me, she doesn't expect. We're not telling her that no one has said to her, you have $20,000 to go towards your school.
Right.
And then after that, you're on your own. I haven't said one thing. She could be expecting $2 from me. I don't know.
Right.
Or she could be expecting $200 million. I have no idea. I don't know what she's expecting. I don't think she is expecting anything.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to get an open conversation to, not even so
Not
much
the money.
Not the
No,
money.
she just wanted to. I think she wants to see her options.
Yes.
And the thing I think about is, yes, you can crush her dream right now and move on from it. But if you don't even let her apply, then that's something that she could possibly think about. Like, I could have, like, say she applies and she doesn't get in, great.
Right.
If she applies and gets in and then has to weigh those things out, then there's that. But if you don't ever let her do it, it could be in the back of her head, like, what, like, I could have, or I would have, you know,
Yeah.
if she doesn't get to try, which, you know, I mean, I'm not saying she would be totally resentful forever or anything because of that.
But you could.
You know, you don't want it to be an issue.
Right.
You know, and then whereas if you have the conversation later, say she does get accepted and you have that conversation later, it's very open and it's very like, this is what we can do.
Right.
And, you know, you kind of have to figure out the rest if that's
Right.
where you want to go. And we don't necessarily think it's a great idea, but this is what you get from us regardless.
And
Kind of thing,
ultimately, she is going to be an adult, and she will have to make those decisions
Exactly.
on her own. We
Yeah.
can lead her as much, and we could tell her
Right.
no, yes, and blah blah blah. But eventually, I mean, she could go. We could do a state school, and in a year, she can say,
peace out, I'm done.
I'm going
to do this.
I'm going to do this,
I'm
and I got
18 and
accepted,
I'm
and I
fine.
whatever, and I'm going to take out the loans, and this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I can tell her, I don't think you should do that, but ultimately it's going to be her decision.
Right.
And so I'd rather work with her now on, like,
Yeah.
let's find the reasons why we wouldn't want to do that versus
Yeah.
where we would,
Right. And I mean, I know it's not necessarily a fun conversation, but it's something that our kids don't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
They're not going to get this at school. They're not going to get it anywhere unless you're talking to them about it. And that is that you do get to have that conversation about, look, this is what you're looking at cost-wise. This is what you're looking at for your job when you're out.
Yeah.
You're going to need to use X amount to survive.
Right.
So you're paying
Yeah.
X amount, and it's going to take you X amount of years to pay this off.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a good idea. You could have the same outcome with the job that you get by going to this school instead. I know you
Right.
love school Y, but school Z is cheaper and you'll get the same degree
Right.
and your income's going to be the same. So that's something to consider because, we can only
Right.
help you out so much.
It's kind of like it's the same thing. It's like, look, are the Lululemons that great at $60 a short?
Right.
Or the pants at $150? Or are the 90 degrees that are $20?
Yeah.
Can they do the same thing? Maybe
Right.
some of them can. Maybe some of them can't.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just about a brand and it's a name and it's an entitlement of it sounds prestigious.
Right.
Okay, we have to drop that for a second.
Right.
Let's forget about that. But what are the programs like? Let's
Right.
dig into that. And then is the value behind the dollar?
Especially because, when you're talking about what she wants to go into, any job is going to require some type, like they're going to want a background. They're going to want a portfolio. They're going to want a presentation, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to see what she has to offer, regardless of where she goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid has talent. So, yes, of course, you need to go to school. Yes, there are things that you need to learn. Maybe are you not going to learn everything you would at this other school? Possibly. But I think you're already ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're not starting from scratch,
Right.
And so even if you just learn a few techniques, I think you're good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like this school's going to give you everything that you need, even though it's less. And, if they're looking at like, okay, well, this person has this college pass, this person has this college pass, and they're not looking at what they're bringing, then you probably don't want to work there anyways because quality isn't their thing,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things too that luckily her future career is probably going to ride a lot on her actual talent and not on what a resume necessarily says, And so, I mean, there are so many places that could care less where you went to school. They just want to know you have a degree. Like in my company, they don't care what your degree was in.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some technical jobs where it's like, no, you have to have this, right?
Yeah.
But for a lot of jobs where it's like bachelor's, they don't care what your bachelor's is in. They just want you to have a degree. And why am I talking about it? It is what it is. I think Jada might not go to school, which is cool. Because I don't have to worry about it. It all sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. It's a lot. And sorry to dump all that. It's just like, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where we are.
Yeah.
That's
No.
where we are with things.
I get that.
That's reality.
That's the stage of life you're in with your kid.
I know. That and preschool. It's so
Similar.
similar. How are your kids?
Oh, well,
Not going off to college just yet.
not going off to college yet. Jackson is trying to start dating.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Which, by the way, okay. So a couple things. Hayden and his girlfriend broke up. Which
Long distance girlfriend.
long distance girlfriend, and I'm totally good with. But he's struggling a little with it. He's doing pretty good, but he is struggling with it.
How long were they together?
like a year and 3 months or something like that.
And he's 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time for a kid.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a relationship that was a couple years old when I was in high school, and it was the hardest breakup, of course. I mean, no breakup's fun unless you're like the person. I think after the breakup, it's not fun unless you're the person breaking up and you don't really care. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you get
Yes.
dumped, it's not ever going
Yes.
to be a fun experience.
Right.
But he's doing pretty good. I just worry about, you always say, he needs to get a local girlfriend. You need someone in town, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I like out of town because then I don't have to worry about any monkey business. Okay? None of that.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
Mildred.
I know.
You just said monkey business.
I know I did, okay? And here's the other thing. I just almost went dead right now. The other thing is, so Jackson met this girl at the mall. I think I told you. Did I tell you?
No.
You know they go to the mall. So
Yeah.
he goes to the mall with his friends here and there, whatever. Well, he met this girl at the mall, and he got her Snap info. Apparently, that's what you get instead of someone's phone number
Oh,
if
okay.
you're a seventh grader, maybe.
Okay.
Not super wise, I don't think.
Because then you can show your booby and then it goes away.
Oh, maybe that could be it. But here's the thing that makes me nervous. I'm going out of town today. My brother's going to take Jackson to the football game tonight,
Okay.
and that girl's going to meet him there.
Okay.
If they have monkey business that happens. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. He's like the baby, so it's like the worst, I think. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm worried about the kids, you know. Deja, I feel like, was so easy about this stuff. Like, the easiest.
I'm gonna say this though. Jax is so like he's so just like chill.
Oh, I know, but I'm
He's
like,
I mean, if it's something where he's like, he'd be like, I don't think that's a good idea, or he'd be like, that sounds like too much work. I don't think so.
he would totally do that.
You know?
Or he might be like, sure, let's do that. Because he's also very like, all right,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, like, stressing out about that kid.
At least it's in a public place.
I know. It is a school game. So
There's probably going to
he's-
be people there that know him and you and people.
And so there will be people around. Unless, what if they go and hang out in the parking lot?
I don't think they'll let them. I think they have to stay in.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Because I saw a lot of kids leaving around halftime last week or the week before.
I don't know if they let kids just hang out in the parking lot of the games.
Well, not hang out, but like they're like, oh, we're getting picked up. And then they walk into the parking lot with some little doctor and they do something.
Unfortunately, you have young boys.
I know.
And
it's
monkey
the
business
dumbest thing.
is going to happen. But don't you feel, I mean, I don't agree with your son's little love bites.
Gross.
That
That was the tackiest, nastiest thing.
But I feel like, as hard as it is, maybe I'm saying this because I really didn't have to go through this, but like young relationships are good. Not young, like, I think they should have a bunch of boyfriends that's,
Right.
12.
But it is
I'm
important to
saying, like-
have, yes. Okay, I do. I think that,
Like, heartbreak is actually good.
and
It's a
that's
good
what,
lesson.
that's what I told Hayden, is I understand it sucks.
It sucks.
And it doesn't feel good and you hurt and it's horrible, but you do learn from it. Unfortunately, sometimes we have, in
Yeah.
life, I said,
Yeah.
unfortunately you're hurting right now and you're probably going to hurt again,
Yeah.
but we learn from those things too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to have these hard times to really learn.
I feel like, I've said this many times. I feel like you should never marry your first boyfriend or girlfriend. Like you should.
I know.
I'm so against it
I
because
know.
because I just feel like you grow so much, and you usually can learn and take something away, even if it's, ew, I was so stupid because why was I ever with that person? Because
Yeah.
I realized blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Well, when you're young, it's your time to figure out what you like, what you don't.
And I'm okay with them having girlfriends and different relationships. One thing
It's
is
like
like,
sexual stuff.
yes.
Yes, the physical.
Yes. I'm okay if they kiss. I understand they're going to kiss.
Do you?
Mhm.
At school, even? Do you understand that they're going to kiss at school?
We have a girlfriend, and her kid just told her,
She just got her first boyfriend.
yes. And they just had the conversation that they've started kissing.
Yes.
And it is funny to me because as much as I'm like, I don't want sexual stuff, but I know kissing is gonna. I get that, like I
Yeah.
understand. But our girlfriend is just like, is this okay? Like, is this completely inappropriate? You know? And I'm like, well, I mean, they're gonna like. I almost feel like she wanted to be like on the lips. You guys kissed on the lips. You know, like. I feel like she's being more Mildred than I am
She
that.
totally is. And maybe it's she's thinking of her olden days that she kind of starts to freak out a little bit.
So maybe that's why I freak out, you know, because I know how I was in high school.
Were you a little hoe for show?
I wasn't a hoe for show, but I mean, in high school, I only slept with, I think I only slept with one boy in high school. Like my long-term boyfriend.
Okay.
We broke up our senior year, we broke up.
Okay.
And then after high school. I think it was after high school. The reason I think it was after high school is because I don't remember having to see him at school afterwards, and it was someone I had gone to school. I don't think I had to see him after that. But still, it's like, even if it was just one boy, I still don't want them having sex with one girl.
I know you don't want them having sex.
I know. So this is where, you're like, hey, to Tristan, like, hey, you need to work on this because
I told her she needs to work on her love life.
I know you said that, and I'm like, I don't want you working on your love life because I don't want you doing anything like that. I know it's just a lot of turmoil in my soul is what it is. It's a lot there. And so it's very difficult for me.
I get it. You don't want to be Grandma Ashley.
It's not even that, I mean, there are a lot of ways not to be a grandma, even if your kids, you know, my mom wasn't a grandma and I had started having sex at an earlier age, you know, not like super early. I was in high school, but
I'm telling you that I think it's hilarious that it's like, I'm like, okay, friend, your daughter is a sophomore in high school.
yes,
She's not a seventh grader, you know, where you're like, it's that first initial, like, and it, like, you right now with Jackson, it's kind of like, oh shit, because here we go, because he's just into junior high.
Yeah.
Now he's like growing up. There's a lot of changes. Dropping him off at the mall with his friends is a big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is growing up now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh shit. I mean, that's kind of like a hold on to my seatbelt kind of moment, you know? So I get those, but I'm like, honey, she is.
Yeah,
she's
in
10th grade. Like, do you think that you would feel better if you went through all of high school without a relationship? Because I don't think you would. Because you'd be like, what the hell? That's why I'm like, oh, lighten up about it.
Yeah,
you know?
especially because okay, flip side, if she did go through high school without a relationship, she'd be like, she's so weird.
Right.
So weird. She hasn't dated anyone. It's so weird.
Yeah. Which is kind of common in kids nowadays, too.
To not date.
To not date. And then, like, I have lots of cousins that are our age that are not married
Yeah.
that don't have kids.
Yeah.
And not too sure if they've had many relationships,
Yeah.
especially long term. And I don't know what, and they're very successful though.
Mhm.
They are very successful. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just finding someone. Maybe they're super picky. I don't know what it is. And so I think that, like, for me, it's kind of been like, it is a common thing, kind of, but I don't want my kid to be that way. I don't want her to be fast, and I
Right.
don't want her to have, you don't need to have 10 boyfriends, but
Having a couple
having a
relationships
couple
would be
relationships
good.
is good.
Yeah. I agree with that completely. I do think the whole kissing thing was funny.
It's so funny. Like, is that appropriate at school? Well,
I mean, no, they're not
I would
supposed
be-
to kiss at school.
okay, but
what I
what
mean,
are their alternative? What's the alternative? Where are they going to kiss? I'd rather them go kiss at school than kiss at my house. I'm not going to have them kissing at my house.
yeah, no, thank you. Because first of all, you're gonna have to kiss in front of me, and
That's going to be awkward for all
it
of
is
us.
because Hayden and his girlfriend would kiss in front of us, or like they would like be like holding on to
What is
each other.
that like?
So awkward. Oh my gosh, so awkward. It is honestly.
Were they kiss like saying bye? Is like that when you would see them kiss in front of you? Like saying hi or bye?
No, sometimes it would just be like kissed each other, and it's like, oh, gosh. Jason and I,
Oh, goodness.
one time at the mall, we were at the mall with them, and they were like, "Oh, can we look in the store?" We're like, "Yeah." So we're like, kind of just standing there, and he's like, "I don't know about." And Jason has had a lot more relationships than I have, and by relationships, yes, I mean relations. So, he's a little more than I am. And he's like, I don't know about your kid, like, kissing and, like, holding all over each other in front of it. I'm like, I know, it's so uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, and I don't, maybe it's because, like, we are a very open family. Very, very open. Have conversations and say things that probably, like, maybe the average family doesn't.
Like about like sex and bodily and just everything.
Yeah, like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when the boys bring something up. Jason and I, sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not, but we do make comments to make them feel uncomfortable because we're like, why are you asking about this? Don't be worried about what your dad and I are doing, okay? Yeah. So we will make comments, and they're like, oh my gosh. But it's like,
Really quick before I forget, because I feel like I don't know if I told you this story, but it just made me think of it. We're getting out of the car the other day, and I don't know, Danny was trying to get out of her seat, and so she goes, "Oh my conga!"
oh my gosh, your girls.
It was hilarious. It was funny. Anyway,
Yes.
It made me think about that
No.
private moment.
Yes. So maybe it's because of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was never like that.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. It's not like you were like that, and then you see it, you're like,
Yeah.
and it's your kid. It's
Yeah.
your little kid. And you're thinking to myself, see, this is how my aunt used to be. She used to always say, she's like, oh, really? They want to have a girlfriend? Really? They can't even fucking wipe their own ass. Like, are you kidding me? I clean their underwear.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
and I'd be
Oh
like,
my gosh.
you're so
I love it.
awful. And she's like, I'm serious.
She's like, but really?
No, seriously. She's like, well, learn how to, wash your pits. You stink before you go have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
If I have to remind you when was the last time you took a shower or when was the last time you changed your toothbrush, then maybe you have no business sucking on some girl's neck. She used to always tell
Oh,
her
I
boys.
love it.
Oh.
That is my favorite. Yeah. Sucking on the neck, like, also, I mean, I get it. I did dumb stuff when I was a kid, but aren't we not as trashy anymore? Like,
I
as a
know.
society? Like,
I know.
not doing trashy stuff like that anymore? I don't know. I just feel like every time I see someone with hickeys, I always feel like they're like Like, oh, that's it. Like, that person looks silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why is my little, even though I say I live in the hood, my kid has no idea about being in the hood, you know?
We all know everyone goes home and has sex, okay?
Right.
I don't need to see it
Exactly.
on your face, on your
Exactly.
neck when we're at the grocery store.
Right.
Like, ew.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about what you guys, you know?
Yes. And Jason, sometimes he makes me so angry because sometimes when he's drunk, and it's not even that we're having
He's just
sex.
aggressive with
He-
his kisses and stuff.
Yes.
He's done that to you before.
Yes. Just like last week, I think. Or I think it was last week. And it made me so angry because he was drunk, I wasn't, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so annoying. Like, get away from me. He's like, just give me a kiss. And then then I have a freaking bruise right here the next morning. As I go to church, I'm like, are you kidding me, Jason? And he's like, what? And I'm like, yes. What's wrong with you? I'm like, come on.
I just want some Ashley.
But it's like we weren't even being sexual. Why? Like,
I know, but
can
you know
you
your
love me
husband's
without
a
being annoying?
sexual lover.
I know, but
of
just
his life.
get off my.
Which the only thing I will say is, don't be surprised if one of your sons is like his dad.
Oh gosh, don't say that. Please.
I know. I know. Hopefully, I don't think it'll be Hayden.
No.
I think he's too sensitive. He'll be too invested and involved.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be him. I'm not saying he's not going to be.
I mean, I know.
He's still a boy.
Yeah.
But I think as far as when he gets to that point,
Yeah.
I think he's going to be very emotionally attached as a
I know.
person.
That's what makes it worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm so bipolar about the situation. I don't know what I want. Maybe I want to be like Molly, where I think maybe kissing on the lips is inappropriate. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I know. Kids drive us crazy. You know what? This is why we have to drink sometimes. This is why
Yes.
moms take gummies or have drinks or do something
Yes.
or whatever.
Turn
because-
gray,
turn
get
gray.
wrinkles.
Yeah.
This is all their fault. I'm not going to blame it on the elements.
Oh my gosh. First you wrinkle and you fuck up my belly, and then, then you stress me the fuck out for life.
And mess my face and my hair. Thanks
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when it gets easier, but at least your boys are good boys.
Yeah. Someone's in trouble. I don't know that people can hear that, though, because a few weeks ago I said, oh, sorry if you guys can hear it, and I couldn't hear anything.
I don't know. Hopefully this isn't too loud.
The fan, I know.
know.
You guys, I'm sorry. I feel like you were so out of the
I know, but
I hope you were in.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think you did bring back. We need to check.
All right, guys. Well, that's our week.
Yeah, thanks for listening to our parenting, teens, college.
If you have any advice for us, please send it. If you have any tips on
How to keep your children virgins. I would like that one. How to make sure that
how
happens.
to make sure they don't end up in the parking lot at the football game.
Yes, I would like that one.
Let's see what else. How to send your kids off to school. Maybe I needed to have a brainiac kid and wouldn't have to worry.
No.
Or super like sports athletic. I don't know. I was talking to a guy last night at one at work event, and he was the same stress, and his kid plays soccer and will probably get a soccer scholarship and will probably play for school, but he's in the same boat. He's stressed the heck out, and so I think it's common.
Yeah. It's a big time in their life.
Yeah.
This is kind of like, this is where it all starts. Yes, they've had all these years and all of these things have built them into this person, but this is where really the next chapter of their life really does begin.
Yeah. And let's hope that gas is not like $7 fucking a gallon.
Because you're never going to see her.
No, I'm never going to see her.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I might not see a lot of people. I might not even see you anymore.
I'm not
We
even.
live like 10 minutes away from each other.
Get a
But
bicycle. I have a bicycle.
I
We
do
have to ride
too.
Bicycles. Or we just can make Jason drive us everywhere.
yeah, we can only do with company gas
Yeah.
expenses.
Yeah.
No, that's why even though I know my car is more comfortable than his, that is why whenever we would go to Disneyland and stuff, we were always in his car because
Yeah.
I'm not paying for gas.
So expensive.
I know.
It's crazy.
You know, my grandpa's girlfriend, she was messaging and she's like, "Oh, I heard you guys were paying like, I mean, it was like $5.50 a gallon." And my mom was like, "I just filled up. It was $81 for X amount of gallons or whatever." And she was like, "Oh wow, $3.33. She's paying $3.33." I'm like, "Can you send me some?"
Yeah. Can you please mail me some gas?
Yeah, is that possible? And my mom was like, "Yeah, I just paid $5.80 something." And I'm like, "I know, gosh, what in the heck? I hate it."
know.
And then, we're gonna get some gas checks. Oh gosh, great. Give me back some of my more money that you're gonna make me pay back my
Yeah.
bill taxes.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I love you.
Yeah.
And I will never vote for you. Even though that's all you want. But yeah. Anyhow, so thanks you guys.
Thanks,
Send us any
guys.
tips you have.
Yes, thanks for swapping with us.